All right, welcome to Season 5, Episode 4. Featuring Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Famer Dave Olson. Welcome to Chatty Madi Monday, Dave. How are you?
Very good. I'm very good. It's a pleasure to be on. That's awesome.
This is going to be great. We talked about this at the Young Racers Special, and we're trying to put this together. I'm not going to get too ahead of myself because we are going to allow fans a couple of minutes here to jump on from wherever they're listening from. We do have us live on Living Like Outlaws with Wes Irwin. Huge thank you to Wes for putting us on your page as well. And then huge thank you to the IRA Sprint Car Series and Melinda Russell for putting us on too. We are very proud to be part of their Monday night program. So Dave, we're going to give a couple people some time to get on here, but you got any buddies tuning in today that you know of?
I'm kind of worried because they're going to give me the business. I feel like the comment section is going to light up here, but I'm not sure. I don't have a lot of fans. My mom. It's kind of a short list, but I'm
there are
sure.
many fans. Many fans. They're going to flood the comments. I know. I'm going to take a peek right here already in the comment section. Welcome from Kokomo, Indiana. Huge thank you for watching our show on Monday nights. Hey, Peter. Amaro. Nice. Gracie Cleveland. Gracie Cleveland said, OMG, it's Dave Olson and Preston Rue. You are already signing autographs. Lindsay.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Lindsay Cleveland.
Chad and Lindsay are in the shop.
They're in the shop. They are with SC Diecast at Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin. If you need anything with Funko Pops,
yes.
The Diecast cars, they sell the blanks for the sprint cars. What is that?
Yep.
What scale? 64th? No, they're bigger than that.
No, they're bigger than that. We don't have it here.
We
should bring it on over.
We'll
bring it on over.
I need to wrap it. I have to contact Casey Schlafer, but they sell the blanks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Lindsay can tell me what scale it is. Maybe they're not 8th scale.
No, they're not that.
50th scale?
18th scale.
18th
Thank you, Gracie.
Scale. Gracie beat you to it, Lindsay. Huge thank you to DeZine Metal Art out of Knoxville, Iowa, for sponsoring our show this season, Season 5. I can't believe it, Preston.
It is crazy.
We've been doing this, and this show has traveled, Dave. We started in my room-ish. I mean, we would, push my bed more up against the wall, set up a card table, and throw the banner up.
Yup.
Then we went to the basement.
That basement setup was pretty nice.
The basement setup was probably the best one.
That was Season 2 and 3, I think?
Yeah, combined? That one was there for the longest. And then Gracie and I moved in together. Mm-hmm. So then we shoved it back upstairs to my room.
Yep.
Then what? Then we had this awkward moving.
Yeah, we had moving.
Apartments.
I don't know what we did. Did we ever do it? Maybe we did it once or twice at the apartment. But now that we're here, now it's...
Because we were in the apartment from August till...
Yeah, so just from August to September.
So we were only at the apartment for the off season. So we didn't really do a lot. But, man... Anywho, squirrel moment.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about another rodent moment.
Exactly.
That's gonna be a great segue.
That was awesome.
I can't believe it. I've never laughed harder at a racetrack than on Sunday night at Angell Park. Holy man.
Did you hear Eric's live play-by-play?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's going to the 40.
Oh my God. It's like he had all this stuff prepared. It was off the cuff. It was hilarious. It just kept coming.
Yep.
It was right off the top of the noggin too. He was just rattling it off.
It was awesome, yeah.
And Lauren with the headset. Mike's got a blanket. Well, it was because they were trying to not have it go into the infield.
Yeah.
But they weren't trying to kill it. We were trying to capture it to release it after talking with Angell Park Speedway officials, and we'll talk about this again because I'm gonna take a step back. But apparently it just lives in the tower, and then it also lives under the bush light. What do you call that? A concession stand?
Yeah.
But it was released again, alive and well, with a little bit of scaredness back into the wild.
A little bit of trauma.
On that
rodent, but...
Parker Jones almost hit him.
I saw that. He kind of swerved out of the way. And
I thought Parker Jones was going to have a problem on the front straightaway there because I don't know if that would knock out anything because he was one chunky woodchuck.
Yeah,
he was no small woodchuck.
No.
Clearly, I mixed up my Wisconsin creatures because I thought woodchucks were gerbil size. Those are chipmunks.
Nope.
That woodchuck was big, yo. He was chunky. We're gonna go back to that in a little bit. We're gonna change gears and start our show here.
Started officially.
Officially started. What's up, guys? My name is Chatty Madi, and this season is brought to you by DeZine Metal Art. DeZine Metal Art out of Knoxville, Iowa, is proudly sponsor of Chatty Madi Monday Season 5. They specialize in metal art, laser engraving, and now featuring UV printing. If you see those signs behind me, they specialize in that. You could take a picture or the digital of your wing, and they are able to get that on metal. Same thing with our wedding photos or our engagement photos. They took a photo same day and pressed it on the metal, and it just creates such a beautiful piece of art.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Additionally, Father's Day is around the corner. I don't know if your dad plays poker, but if he does, you should get him a specialized poker set. We got some sent to us from DeZine Metal Art that we're going to use as a hero card, maybe as a golf holder when I don't make it to the green. You can see that. One side is our 26R. The other side, he edited one of our photos from Chad Warner and Preston's autograph so that we're able to give these to fans. What a cool and unique little token.
Yeah.
And this is way cooler than a hero card or a flag. Like this is something I feel like kids are going to hang on to for a little bit. So if you are interested, ladies and gentlemen, in your very own poker chips, for your own use or to give them out, head on over to DeZine Metal Arts on Facebook, give them a DM, and they will take really good care of you. And again, huge thank you to Greg for taking care of us this season here on Chatty Madi Monday. Additionally, Chatty Madi Monday is brought to you by LakeHomeRetreats.com. Summer is just around the corner, and it is now your time to book your stay at a vacation. We stayed, what was that, 2 Augusts ago, right after we got engaged. And it was such a beautiful getaway.
It's awesome. It's so nice, so relaxing. Most of them are, I mean, all of them are
on the water.
On the water. And so you can go down, you can walk down there. Most of them have a hot tub, I believe, as well out there. So it's really, really enjoyable. Really nice getaway.
It was a fantastic time, and now summer's around the corner, so now is the time. You can book your next vacation at www.lakehomeretreats.com. And if you talk to John at the racetrack, you can let him know that Chatty Madi sent you. Dave Olson, Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Famer, 50 years of photography. We talked at the Young Racers special. I had to get you on the show because you have just a wealth of knowledge. And I would love to be able to pick your brain tonight, if that is all right.
Sure. All right.
Well, let's start kind of at the beginning. So for those of you listening, wherever you find your podcast, or you're listening live here on Facebook, I'm going to assume that you have watched our video from the Young Racers special. If you did not, you can head on over to the videos tab, scroll down until you see Dave's gorgeous face. Watch that video to watch a little bit more of his background. We're going to fast forward a little bit here, and we're going to ask about 50 years, right, Dave? So with 50 years around the corner, even, is there a specific date that you started with 50 years ago? Would you remember your first day? Like, where was it, in summer, spring? Was it kind of in the fall?
Well, it was 1975. It was actually at Great Lakes Dragway. My dad took me and my brother down there as a surprise, and he had his camera along. It was like a Kodak, I think it was a 126 or whatever. It produced square photos, and I don't know, 12 exposures, whatever. So I remember taking my first pictures at Great Lakes Dragway, and then the anticipation of, you had back then, you had to drop off the film and wait to get it processed a couple of days, and then seeing the images that you created. And that would basically be 50 years. So that was sometime in the summer of 75. And I grew up in Hales Corners, about a mile and a half from Hales Corners Speedway. And the next year is when was really kind of the start. I went down with some buddies, high school buddies, and we were, the first night I took pictures. I still have those pictures. Sitting in the stands, and colors and the music, the PA announcer, and I was hooked. And so probably didn't miss a night there. I used to ride my bike from the house in Hales Corners, and you may have heard this, but back in the day when the street lights went on, you had to be home, right?
Right.
So I would ride my bike down there with the camera, and I talked my way by the pit entrance. The fence ended, and I'd kind of like sneak around and shoot when the cars were just, lining up to get on the track, and then I would save my allowance to buy photos from RPM Photo. They were the track photographers then, and so I was all in. I was hooked, and then kind of got involved in the high school photography program. I would shoot these photos on a Saturday night, and I ended up being advisor for the photography class. So
Nice.
I brought my film in there, black and white, and I had the students my age, right? They were developing the film and making black and white prints of all my pictures from Hales. I I had a production system at 17 years old, whatever it was. Oh my gosh. That was how it started. Yeah. So, um, and then it just kind of got to the point where I wanted to get inside the infield. I'm like, well, why can't I go in there? And at the time, I was a bigger, taller guy, and I had it all figured out to buy a pit pass and get in the infield and shoot pictures like RPM photos like they did. And that didn't work out too well because as soon as I got across the track, my high school buddy's dad was an official. He walks over to the corner. He goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm shooting photos. This is awesome." He goes, "You're like 12. You got to be 18."
Oh man.
So Phil Hall, who was the Midwest editor, came over there and he took my pit pass and said, come see me when you're 18. So August 11th, 1980, I walked into his office and said, I'm here for my press card. And so many stories to get started. So because I couldn't get into Hales, Wilmot and Beaver Dam had 16-year-old ages, right? So I went down to Wilmot and started seeing the super modified / sprint cars and was hooked, and talked my way into being the track photographer at Raceway Park in Beaver Dam before the current Beaver Dam at 17 years old. And man, I still can't believe my mom let me do that. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about, I know you have a lot of photography background. You've shot, high schoolers with sports, you fish, and you shoot with the race cars. Can you tell me something, or what is your mentality? What makes shooting race cars so special? Like, what do you see behind your lens?
Well, that's a great question. I think,
like, what makes it different than fish and high schoolers, and like what brings you back every weekend?
Yeah, I think at this point, it's relationships, by far. Over the years, you get to know. Let's just take Etchy Birtzer. Okay, when I started, 16, 17 years old, Grandpa Etchy Birtzer was still racing, and his son Ken Birtzer was racing it, and I met them, and then then you got a third generation racer, Scotty. So I think it's just those relationships over the years. You have a relationship with, back in the day, and then second and now third generations. Fosbenders. Same deal there, and Lance and Lily now through three generations. So I think I enjoy going through and seeing people, and when you're old like me, you're like, hey, how's your health or whatever, and then you kind of remember that time back in the day, and just seeing the families in the pits. I think that's what keeps me coming back. Obviously, the racing itself is, I'm still a huge race fan, but man, it's hard to imagine doing something for 50 years and you still really enjoy it, and I'm fortunate in that. I think it's the effort of doing something different. Finding a new angle, trying different things is how I'm wired. I like to come up with something new because it's kind of fun. As evidenced by my iPhone experience.
Your iPhone, I love it. I'm gonna pause your next question.
Yep.
But I really want to talk about it. When you had posted that one that says "We're iPhone only tonight," I'm like, stop. This is it. Dave Olson shooting with an iPhone. You've seen the progression of technology. Now you have a $1,000 phone with the capabilities of that small camera. It is so, exponentially greater than what I'm not trying to date you, but like how when you started with the black and white film.
Yeah.
Talk about like what shooting with an iPhone. That's extremely different. And what
Yeah.
do that? How was it?
I have no idea how these ideas pop into my head. It was just I was waiting to get across the track, and I had my iPhone out, and I saw the sun coming in there. I'm like, oh, always shooting, and
Right.
but so to be honest, I always tell people, you can create an image that has impact, that has an emotional connection, that is a lasting memory with
Mhm.
any device. It doesn't have to be professional, as long as it tells a story, as long as there's emotion involved, and if you put together lighting, composition, foreground, background, subject, that adds to the impact of the image. And so there I was going, "Oh, why don't I just shoot with the iPhone all night?" And it was really fun. I got to admit, I had my other camera along, as you saw, as I was getting
Yes.
across the track. I said that story on Facebook. I wasn't allowed to get across the track. So I don't know who this lady security guard was, but I'm like in my black jacket and my you can't go across. I'm like, okay. I said, I
Man.
okay, I'll go get my stuff anyway.
Right.
But I think everybody has one, right? And I was the guy that I don't like it when I see whatever it is. Say it's the kids this recital or fireworks or a concert, and everybody's got their phones out, and I'm like, put them down, enjoy the moment with the
Yeah.
senses, and it's like, but the world we live in is everybody's creating content, and it's the reality of it, right? So, if anything, it was a good exercise for me to be like everybody else with with a cell phone and the limitations, and it was challenged. I mean, the focusing and there's no settings, it's all automatic. And but having said that, you can still create, looking where the light's coming from, looking for expressions and things. You can still create that stuff. So it was kind of
Definitely.
my usual rolling through the pits looking for different things, and there I am in an iPhone, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty, but I'll tell you what, it was really nice to kind of okay, I got a couple of shots with my regular stuff, and I kind of switched back and forth. But
A little different. A
uh,
little different.
Yeah.
yeah, so everybody's got just document this, these moments. You don't know. I mean, that person could be gone the next day. That event, life could change, and you won't be there. So take the pictures, tell the story, get the smiles, but archive them, put them on a Google Drive, the cloud, because devices, hard drives will all fail. Your photos will be destroyed sometime. Even
Right.
with the studio, I lose hard drives all the time, and you have to back them up. So there's
Yeah.
all kinds of apps that you can do, and just back up your photos and enjoy you can enjoy them at any time. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was a fun little experiment.
Yeah. So, like, throughout the years, have you ever gone into a year with like a set theme or something you want to do differently this year? In any given year.
That's a good
Hmm.
question.
That's a great question.
Good question.
I, I
Another
think,
good
I
question.
think, I know a lot of shooters. Some really enjoy, people shots. Some enjoy crash shots. Some like black and white, right? Um, I'm not sure. When I look at my business called Studio 360, I always like to feel like I want to tell the story full circle. I want to show as many different angles of an event or a story, and it includes using a different lens, like every shot, changing lighting and walking around. I think it's, if anything, maybe it's kind of like convincing myself that the pain in my knee that needs replacement, and the old man walking around, I'm still determined to take the extra lap or get that shot, where I can. And my goal is on social, I mean, is to come up with 12 images that really are different and unique every race, and sometimes it's more. Sometimes it's less, but just to tell a story of somebody who can't be there or make them feel like they are there, right? So I don't think it's a certain style. I think it's just really looking at the whole, 360 worth of lenses, lighting, and stories that really make up the event.
I love that. That's a really great answer.
That's awesome.
When we see a Dave Olson shot, they're all iconic, Dave. And I know that you say that you shoot 300 and that one of them is what you want, and you're very determined. And I think that is something that should not go unnoticed, that you work really hard for those images. And I kind of want to wrap up, but believe it or not, Dave, we've been talking for 20 minutes already, so I'm not trying to take up most of your time. But I do want to talk about how you said that you're just the old guy walking around, but I promise you that is not what people think. People look up to you for photography, and I don't know the language of a photographer, but I know that people come to you just like you did when you were dialing those numbers in the Midwest Racing Connection. People are coming to you, and you're their mentor, right? How has it been with the pages turning with that?
It's really rewarding in that all the years, there's no.
Uh-oh.
It's over with, but I think the younger photographer, if I can help them shorten their learning curve, if I could, talk to them about safety, how I've never, gotten into a situation in all the years, or relationships with promoters and race series, or their online. There's so much negativity. I feel like we have the opportunity to spin any event in a positive way, and with photos and words. We can always find a negative in an event. Son, the track was dusty, blah blah, but there's always good. So I think maybe helping them, develop their craft, and what is their style, what do they like. Not necessarily, like I have people I look up to. I look at their stuff all the time. I'm like, man, that is awesome. I wonder how they did that, right? I'm still inspired by so many photographers, and the goal is to emulate, right? Not copy, but emulate. Maybe see a shot and go, man, I like that, but what if I did it my way or spin it my way, right? So it's fun to encourage, the youngers now, and even some, guys that have been around that are frustrated or looking for, how to do something or their own style. The whole goal is to have a picture up there without your logo, and they know who shot it. That's your goal. That's my opinion. So yeah. So
that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, that about wraps out our time, Dave. Celebrating 50 years, we got to get the merchandise out. But where can people find all of your photos throughout the season?
Well, I tell people, it's like you don't understand how many I shoot and how many don't turn out. I mean, that's a reality when you push the envelope, when you try new things. There's a lot that don't turn out, and then, but the ones that do, you're like, well, I know what not to do anymore, and that's pretty cool, right? So I don't post everything every week. A lot of people just message me and say, hey, I saw you there last night. I get a lot of those. Did you get anything on my car, or, my son or daughter, or whatever? And that's the best way to get a hold of me. We started this whole, with the Fosbenders and Scotty Neitzel, that whole K1 uniform thing. That's
slick.
That's pretty cool. That logo of me is way too big. That's a lot of Dave Olson for a lot of people, man.
I love it. I didn't know that was a thing until I saw Fosbender walking up at Angell Park. Like,
I know, right?
I love it.
Oh, we're gonna make some apparel, like t-shirts, hats, and again, like I said, I think it's awkward for me because I don't feel like it's awkward to do that. I put my logo on stuff, but I'm just not that guy. I just don't. It's kind of awkward to say, look at me thing, but it's really talk before the show. It's really a celebration. It's a review of history. It's therapeutic for my brain, and in the brain injury that I've had, it's really been a great tool to, remember things that are lost, and then people that are not here anymore. It is a history thing now to me, so it's important to keep that keep that going. So.
Well, we are incredibly blessed to be celebrating 50 years with you. If we could talk for 5 hours, I would sit down and do it. I think you've got to get together with Joe Vertigan and put together a story with him. I think that would be an incredible read for fans across the nation that you've worked with.
Well, listen, I just want to say, you have an enthusiasm and a positive spin to what you're doing, and you've made such an impact in the motorsports world. I think, I'm really proud of you. I feel like you've got your own, your own personality, and you're not afraid to get out there and do your thing. And that's what people, I feel like, being able to do that without worrying about what other people say. And same thing with photos, do what makes you happy. Tell the story that you see, right? So I'm a big fan, and like I said, you do rule the world. I know we talked about it. It's like, yep. You're gonna make all the decisions and help us all get through the race night. So, hey, I gotta say one thing. Say one thing. If my girlfriend's listening, it's her birthday today. She's in Florida with her daughter and her sister, and they're taking a week down there. But I'm not here to celebrate with you. But happy birthday, hon.
Go, Dave. Perfect. I love it. I'm a huge fan, Dave. I'm really glad we got to put this together. Again, anytime, I would love just to sit and chat and catch up on history. I think it'd be great for you to even bring photos to the track or even send them to us with the IRA. I think it'd be great to be able to post those and relive a little history.
Well, the IRA family, I tell you what, that started, I think I saw the first IRA race, well, maybe not, but I think the first super modified to IRA sprint car, I was there. John Tierney had that car at Wilmont, and that family over the years, it's like my favorite series, and I'm just really fortunate to be involved in a small way and still get to as many races as I can. So there's a lot of family there and a lot of people I really enjoy seeing. So.
Well, we really enjoy having you. It is incredible, and we are so blessed to have you as part of the team as well, Dave.
All right, hon. All right, you guys.
Are you going to be at Wilmot? When are we going to see you next with the IRA?
Yep, we're going to be at Wilmot, and then the schedule gets a little bit crazy. I play in a couple of bands, and we got some gigs on conflicting nights, and then I do some fish guiding. I'm up here in Door County now, so I feel like I jam as much into a day as I can because I don't know how many I got left. So, but we're going to get to as many as we can for sure.
Well, we will see you this upcoming Saturday at Wilmot Raceway. Thank you so much, Dave, for being a part of the show.
All right. Thanks for having me on, you guys.
Thanks, Dave. All right. Wow. We set this up probably, what was that? The Young Racer Special was March?
Yeah, normally March, I think.
Oh my gosh. I loved it. And I'm glad. And we were talking in the infield. I was giving him a little bit of crap because I'm like, Dave Olson he got the iPhone at the Chili Bowl. Didn't
that's right.
I'm like, I can't take
right before,
iPhone. I don't know the systems with like the brightness and the contrast. Like I know that doesn't make any sense to me.
Nope.
And the photos that Dave put on Facebook on his iPhone,
they don't look like iPhone. They don't look like iPhone photos.
Incredible.
They look like professional.
I have the brand new iPhone. I can't get those pictures. Nope. And it's just a match of the mix that photographers have, and especially Dave, who's done this for such a long time. You just have an eye for it.
Yep, exactly. The skill, the knowledge, all of it.
Incredible. We're going to move on here, but first we want to give a huge shout out to 4leftturns.net. They are really ranking up with their claw clips. I need to order one yet. I'm actually, Cheyenne doesn't watch, one of my other friends who stood up in our wedding. I still have her claw clip from Plymouth. Did not give that back. I need to go give that back. But you can order a custom racing claw clip from 4leftturns.net, and you can get a discount with code Chatty at checkout. 4leftturns.net, anything to decorate your she sheds, any of the man caves, or to personalize your wardrobe or your water bottles with stickers. Head on over to 4leftturns.net. All right, we're going to move on. We are going to talk a little bit backwards. We're going to go to Plymouth Dirt Track, where, quote, the stars aligned for Travis Aarons.
Yep.
He just seemed unstoppable in the 25T. He looked hooked up all night.
Yeah, all night long. I mean, I don't remember how he did in the heat race, but
we'll look it up.
He was flying all night long.
See, we're looking at irasprints.com with the
Yup.
news. He came
Second.
home
Yep.
second in his heat to Jake Blackhurst.
Mhm.
He did win his dash, which
Yep.
put him on the pole, but he did not win easy, right? So he had to fight Blake Neely, Scotty Thiel, Kelby Watt, Tim Schaefer, huge stack of people that were just trying to get every inch they could back on Aaron's.
Yep.
I mean, starting on the pole, it's like giving Max Verstappen the pole in F1. It's at Plymouth, right?
Yeah.
You're giving the man, a two-time MSA champion, multi-time winner at Plymouth Dirt Track, just the pole. Like,
Exactly.
people were already like, hey, we got to play catch up already, and the green hadn't even dropped.
Yeah.
Well, it was yet another beautiful Wisconsin spring. I'm so tired of the Wisconsin
Somehow,
spring.
over the past
Oh, man.
3 days, it's gotten colder and colder.
And it's only going to get colder. I go to Bay Beach tomorrow.
Oh no!
It's
And it's
gonna-
supposed to be. It's gonna be
40s.
below freezing at
Right.
some point here.
Right?
That's the Roo Racing weather forecast for you.
You're welcome.
Before the end of the week, it'll be below freezing.
I don't know how much I trust Weatherman Roo. We're going back. Plymouth Dirt Track, Sterling Kling would be fastest in Boxster Media Hot Laps, and Kyle Schutt would be fastest around the Plymouth Dirt Track, laying down a lap at 11.224 in Carbon Safety Technologies qualifying, clinching the High Plains Building Division Quick Time Award.
I think it was super cool that Sterling Kling was the quickest in hot laps
Right?
after never being here.
Never been here.
Never being here.
Same thing with Angell Park. He
Yep.
was fast.
Yep, he was very fast.
Incredible.
He was very impressive
He
all
needs
weekend
to race
long.
with us more often.
Yep.
A pair of young guns would start the front row of Fox Lake Harbor and also performance heat number 1. Logan Julian would take the lead and not look back, kind of clinching his first heat race win of the 2025 season. I see many more of those in his future. The Bodycraft of Antioch presents Baling Racing heat number 2 was won by Kelby Watt.
No, it was.
I was.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
I
was.
do know what I'm talking about. And then Game Day Men's Health and Angler Machine and Tool heat number 3 was won by Jake Blackhurst. Horizon Whiskey Dash Draw put Travis Aarons and Kyle Schutt on the poles of their respective dashes as well. Oh, I even
Sorry,
said
Tim
heat
Schaefer.
4. Tim Schaefer. I'm gonna have to talk about that as well too. Tim Schaefer.
He won. He ended up winning the 4th heat race.
He did win
at
the 4th.
Plymouth.
He did.
Yep.
And again, we talked about the hometown hero, Travis Aarons, striking from the top of the green flag. He was off and gone. We had a couple of on-estate roofing caution flags, but, Blake Neely and Scotty Thiel gave everything they had to Travis Aarons. But really, it was signed, sealed, delivered to the 25T of Travis Aarons.
Yeah, it was super impressive through lap traffic as they went through it. They were all over the place. And everyone in that top 5, top 10,
right?
They were just expertly going through, slicing and dicing through that traffic. It was really awesome.
And I think that there was a moment in time where Kelby Watt with the Great Company weekend, he was battling for a podium too until he washed up into turn 2. Can you tell me about this as a driver? What is with turn 2? Because it almost got a lot of people at Plymouth. What is it about turn 2?
I don't know if it's something with the banking or maybe, a couple of years ago they had the opening there. And so I don't know if that plays a part in it.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, that's always something as a driver you got to watch out for. Turn 2 at Plymouth. It'll come up and grab you real quick, quicker than you think.
Right. So Travis Aarons would take round number 2 of the Hot Farms Bull Ring Showdown and the win for the Scott Simmelman Memorial. Blake Neely 2nd, Scotty Thiel 3rd, Kelby Watt 4th, and Tim Schaefer would round out the top 5. Scotty Brody also just never been to Plymouth. Just gassing her up. He knew his way around the Plymouth Dirt Track and Angell Park.
Absolutely. I think he was running 2nd for a long, long time there in the feature at Plymouth.
And he was giving Aarons a run too as well before he fell back to 6th.
Yep, absolutely.
7th was Jake Newman. 8th was the 85J of Logan Julian. 9th, the 65 of Jordan Goldsberry. And 10th, the 9K of Kyle Schutt, which also just heartbreak in his dash. He was in the lead. He drew the pole, and he just cooked it in turn 2. My jaw was on the floor. Kyle Schutt has 1 IRA win to his name. It was at Plymouth.
Yep.
I think it would have been a great night, too, for Kyle Schutt.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's been up front on Sycamore. He was up front for Angell Park last night. And then Saturday, the 9K, I think, is kind of before what happened on Sunday with the 9K, of course, with the red flag, but he just looked hooked up. He looked ready to rock.
And he's been looking good all year long. I won't be surprised to see him up front and on the top of the podium at some point.
We're going to move on to Sunday at Angell Park Speedway. And before we get going, I do want to say a shout out to my best friend, Woody the Woodchuck, who was ultimately the star of the show. On
Absolutely.
Sunday. I can't even begin to tell you. I was in the infield. I think I was just I don't remember what I was necessarily doing, but they were stopping the race because of this little black object on the front straightaway, and the fans couldn't see it at the time because it was he was so pressed up against
that front
wall.
stretch wall.
And I thought maybe like a tire was shredded, or maybe it was like what do you call that part of the midget with the name on it? Sorry,
the sun visor.
Yes, I thought maybe it was a sun visor. The 4 hours of sleep is getting to me today. And then it started to move. And then I'm like, what is that on the track? Yeah. And apparently Eric was talking about a skunk at Slinger.
No,
not the
somewhere
first
else.
time.
It was a different track.
Wasn't that
I don't
really?
remember. Yeah.
I don't remember.
It was still super late models, and I think it was asphalt, but I'm not positive.
But there was a skunk too. But Eric made it the funniest bit. I have no idea. That woodchuck is overnight famous.
That was hilarious.
He's going to need to go tell his girlfriend that he is Facebook, TikTok, Twitter famous.
Yep. If you have not seen it, you need to go. Flow Racing posted about it.
I tried to get a video on the show here, and it wouldn't work. I can't get it. But it is on Flow Racing.
It is hilarious.
He is so famous that Flow Racing clipped the video of him running on the track from Jeff Burba. And again, you have to listen to the commentary from Eric. So I can't even believe it. He was spitting that off the top of his head. It was the funniest thing. Not to mention all 13 guys from the infield trying to get it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I took the picture. I was trying to get a word with the guy.
It looked like something out of Looney Tunes.
Right?
Running around trying to grab him.
Dear Lord. But what a wild night. But ultimately, the 17 GP, I believe Dirt Track quoted this. That was the car owner's first possible win. I'm going to have to fact check that. But with Dirt Tracker, he had said that the 17 GP, that was his first 410 sprint car win with Tim Schaefer. At Angell Park Speedway.
Yeah, and I think I might be wrong on this, but I think
somebody come get me in the comments
that this was Tim's first weekend in that car.
Really?
And working with that team.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that was his first week.
I should have asked him that. Because he was talking about the new partnership.
Yes.
Right? So you might be onto something with that. Well, I'm going to read the article from Gracie Cleveland. Huge shout out to Gracie, who wrote the race report for this race. Again,
she's your second best friend, isn't she? She made a comment about that she got replaced by Woody. Yes.
That's so funny. We're going to talk about that later in our nightly FaceTime call. The Steel City Outlaw, Tim Schaefer, was victorious at Angell Park Speedway. For all y'all who just love to see me chuckle, I talked with Gracie about this, my second favorite best friend. You can take a drink, you can keep a tally, whatever you want. I'm going to be discussing Tim Schaefer and Danny Schleifer.
Yep.
And Lauren had the same problem too in the dash when they lined up next to each other. I tapped him on the back and I'm like, you got this, bud. So if I mess this up, you take account. Wisconsin spring was finally beginning to warm up with a solid 62 degrees, which I'll take. 62 wasn't that bad.
Yep. Well, that's the high. What was the low? It was way lower than 62. I know that.
It's like 42.
Freezing.
Drawing out 31 sprint cars to the Prairie in the small town of Sun Prairie to Angell Park Speedway. We had Blake Nemi going fastest in Boxer Media hot laps, and Scotty Thiel would pick up the High Plains Building Division Quick Time Award in Carbon Safety Technologies qualifying.
Yeah, and that's someone we haven't talked about a whole lot yet today. But he's been fast every single time out.
Yeah. That Home Pro Roofing
really
is stacked. He's got a great car, great partnership there with the Home Pro Roofing 51 car.
Yep.
He was, and Bill Bailey was only 0.04 of a second slower.
Super
so,
close.
Yeah, it was crazy amounts of second. Two of the night's top drivers would lead Fox Lake Harbor Presents All-Star Performance Heat Race number 1. The Lone Wolf, Danny Schleifer, would check out and lead all 8 laps. The Bodycraft of Antioch Presents Angler Machine and Tool Heat Race number 2 was won by Max Guilford. Right?
Yep.
She's doing such a good job with this article. I have to actually
you have to actually read it.
I know. I try to get... We're moving on. Game Day Men's Health presents Baling Racing Equipment. Heat race number 3 would round out the heat races for the night, with Jake Blackers adding another win to the 9-6 Motorsports tally. They do really well in heat races.
They do really
well. They say they put themselves behind the 8 ball in qualifying, but they do pretty good.
Yeah.
And they pulled themselves a good dash. I think they've got the monkey off their back, right? That's what they were saying. But Jake Blackers looked consistent all night too at Angell Park. Steel City Outlaw Tim Schaefer would lead the feature. What is this? I'm doing a terrible job. Oh my gosh. This is why people are tuning out. But, the dash redraw was featured Schaefer and Nemi redrawing the pole positions. Yep. And Schaefer would end up actually falling back to second with an optimum electric dash number 1, with Tim Schaefer picking up the win and starting on the pole of tonight's Dalkin Memorial 30-lap feature. The Christine Hartman Pleasantville Realty number 2 win was picked up by Nemi. And that was one heck of a front row of a feature. With I would argue that somebody with very minimal laps, and then Blake Nemi, who had every opportunity to win this race as well. Mm-hmm.
Tim Schaefer with minimum laps here at this facility.
He's got more outlaw wins than I'm years alive.
Absolutely.
But Tim Schaefer would ultimately power through the feature in 30 laps around Angell Park Speedway. Mm-hmm. He had said that the Angell Park Speedway was unique because of its, how circular it was. Mm-hmm. And he was the only one who could give Baylog a run for his money. And Baylog was very aggressive on restarts. He was able to kind of capitalize on those and would take the lead about halfway home. With, Tim Schaefer kind of stalking the prey. He was still in sight.
Yep.
And they were neck and neck. They must have been shaking hands at the flag stand because they were just door to door, wing to wing down the front straightaway.
And that was for 2 or 3 laps. It was a while.
Yeah. So, the 17 GP and the 17B were just hooked up all night.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was anybody's ball game. Mm-hmm. And Bill had mentioned that during the Victory Lane interview with him that, if he had to do it with anybody, at least it was Tim Schaefer.
Exactly.
Right? So Tim would take home ultimately the win. And Dave was talking about this. And I was thinking about it afterwards. Tim didn't go have a wing dance. And I was thinking, I'm like, you just won at Angell Park.
Yep.
You beat a 10-time IRA champion who has more laps in this track probably than anyone, who came back to practice for the Outlaw event.
Yep.
Bro, you got to climb up there and get a wing dance. But you got to admit, afterwards, he was pretty giddy. I didn't know if he was going to do it, but I'm glad he did it. I think he was very deserving of it as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else you want to mention from Angell Park? Now that if you want to read more of this beautiful article that Gracie Cleveland has put up about the race report, for the record, I'm never writing another one ever again. Gracie can totally do this. It's fantastic. And I'm not saying that because she's my second best friend to the woodchuck now. But you can read the article. It is now located in the comments below. I'm going to take a look at the comments while we are listening to this as well. There's Gracie's comment right here. If you're watching on Facebook, I got replaced by a woodchuck.
I didn't know you could post it up. I didn't know. That's kind of cool.
I didn't know that either. And then Joe is asking what happened to the woodchuck. We promised we released him back into the wild.
He got caught by a blanket.
In a crate. And Scott was he was I think it was a ratchet strap they wrapped around it. So because he was poking at it. He wanted to get out of there.
Trying to get out.
He was trying to race Parker Jones for the win. But here you can watch the and look at the article that Gracie written up in very good detail on the IRAsprints.com/press. We're going to jump a little bit forward into our schedule. The IRA Sprint Car Series takes a turn a little bit south again to the Wilmot Raceway.
Yeah, south.
And then I know for a doubleheader weekend, we end at 141 Speedway for Sunday Fun Day right before Memorial Day.
Yeah.
I'm ready to take a jump again. I'm only going to do it for specific people because that road's closed.
Oh, absolutely. We got a pair of shoes that are ready to go in the track.
I don't know how Kristen Goldsberry gets that out of his suit. And I'll do it with some people. I'm going to bring a change of clothes. I'm ready.
Yep.
But yeah, this next coming weekend, you can catch the IRA Sprint Car Series at Wilmot Raceway on Saturday and 141 Speedway on Sunday. It's sure to be a great night.
Absolutely.
If you can't be there, you can watch it on Flow Racing. I believe that is all we got here today. We've got about a 44-minute show today. A little bit of a longer one. So
how are you going to stop when you're talking with Dave?
You can't. I love it.
Yep.
I could sit here and talk for hours with Dave Olson.
Absolutely.
Super awesome to have Dave Olson with us here tonight on season 5, episode 4 of Chatty Madi Monday. I'm going to go back and take a nap because it was an amazing weekend and we already had dinner. So thank you so much for joining us on season 5, episode 4, featuring Southeastern Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Famer Dave Olson. If you have any other questions or comments for Dave, you can drop them in the comments. I'll make sure I tag him in the comments as well. Thank you so much, Living Like Outlaws with Wes Irwin, for sharing our page on Monday nights. We are proud to be your Monday night show. We are counting down the days. It is just just a few weeks away where we get to see Wes Irwin again with Living Like Outlaws. We'll do a little bit of possibly some team things, hopefully when he's in town.
Absolutely.
But until then, you can watch the IRA Sprint Car Series live on Flow Racing. We are this last week's race of the week, rightfully so. Angell Park Speedway is this week's Flow Racing race of the week. So if you have not watched it already, head on over to Flow and watch the race of the week. Until then, we will see you at the track Saturday at Wilmot Raceway, and then 141 on Sunday. Thank you guys so much. We will see you at the track. Thanks, guys.
See you later.